gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
To a story you'll only see on 10 TV. Police are investigating the death of 18-year-old Demaya Cummerlander. Authorities say she was shot and killed early Sunday morning in Northeast Columbus. Tonight, her family describing her as fun, intelligent, and caring.
Her family says the shooting happened while she was at a friend's graduation party. 10 TV.
So how many times have we spoken about these graduation parties? I have already called for a temporary hiatus on large gatherings in the community, aka the Black community, because it really does appear that these ninjas just don't know how to act. And at a party, which is supposed to be a celebration of a milestone, an accomplishment in life, you have an ignorant ninja who brings a strap to the party and airs it out. These super gremlins are on demon time.
TV's Carla Rogner spoke with her family. She's live from East Columbus tonight with their reaction.
Yeah, this is a photo of 18-year-old Demaya Cummerlander. It's from her graduation just last spring from New Albany High School. She graduated a whole year early when she was 17, and her family says she was just now figuring out what she wanted to do with her life. She just turned 18 last month, and her mom says she was even considering going into the Army when her life was cut short this weekend. This is the neighborhood where police say Demaya was killed on the northeast side of Columbus. It happened just after midnight in the 2600 block of Woods Edge Road. Police got there around 12:30 and found Demaya with a gunshot wound. She died about 15 minutes later. Demaya's family says she was at a party to celebrate a friend's graduation. I talked to her parents today. They tell me that Demaya was fun to be around and always the life of the party and did not deserve what happened to her.
Everybody's just devastated and speechless right now.
And we know that Ohio, in particular, Columbus, Ohio, has been on fire. And there's a reason for that. It's complete lawlessness at this point, and that's what's happening in many different areas across the United States. And we have to look at this and say, we need to put an end to this. There needs to be people who step forward and speak up more about the sheer violence that's going on in the community, because it's getting to the point where it's unbearable. Okay, it's touching so many different families, and you just have so many people who are not willing to speak up about this type of stuff.
It's just hard to cope with, to think that somebody would be that evil to do something like that for no reason.
She got for nothing. For nothing.
She didn't do anything to nobody. People say that like she was like in a good mood that night. They was having fun. Like she didn't have an attitude or anything. So it was just for no reason.
Her laugh, her smile. She was hoping to be more going to school and living her dreams, she's saying, but you know, I'm just gonna miss her. We ain't really have more, but I'm gonna miss her.
Yeah, Demaya was supposed to start a new job with her cousin this week working at a nursing home, and her family says they will not stop until they get justice. Police haven't shared any information yet about any suspects in Demaya's case, but her family says they will be working with detectives to get information until someone is behind bars. Live in Columbus, Carla Rogner, 10 TV News.
10 TV News at 4 starts with breaking new details. Columbus police have arrested a suspect in the death of 18-year-old Demaya Cummerlander. Less than an hour ago, Columbus police say 20-year-old Kenneth Hairston is facing 2 charges. One of them is involuntary manslaughter. He's being booked at the Franklin County Jail.
Now, do you guys think that that is the appropriate charge? I mean, when you shoot recklessly into a party, into a crowd, is that the right charge? I'm just trying to figure it out, okay? Because this seems like a miscarriage of justice, in my opinion. And it all starts with the charge. Now, I know there's a burden of proof when it comes to, getting somebody charged and convicted with a homicide. But I think that we need to take that extra step as a community to make it so that beyond a reasonable doubt, there is no question that this guy did this and committed a murder, right? And should be charged with murder, okay? And how do we do that? We have people at the party who step up and speak and be witnesses, because y'all were all there. You saw what happened. That's what it's about. Otherwise, that's why you're not getting your justice, because you need to go to the prosecutors and district attorney and say, hey, we can, y'all need to throw another charge on there because we can testify that this guy did this and that and third. But we're not doing that in the community.
Right.
Don't seem real.
I just wish it was just all a dream.
Balloons, flowers, and candles brought to Crum Park to remember and honor the life of Demaya Cummerlander. She graduated from New Albany High School last year and just turned 18 last month. Her mom, Monique Thompson, says Demaya was the life of the party.
She loved to dance, very intelligent. She liked to be around kids. She was babysitting everybody's kids.
Thompson says Demaya was at a friend's graduation party Saturday night in Northeast Columbus. Police were called to the shooting on Woods Edge Road around 12:30 Sunday morning. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
And that's why these videos need to get shared, because young people need to hear this message. Because I think that people are moving as if there's no real threat out here amongst us. And a lot of people are, young people, they're happy to have their freedom. They're becoming a young adult. They're learning their way. They're partying. They're figuring out, who they are. And in these spaces, it used to be that in many cases, these spaces would be safe spaces, but in this day and age, I mean, in the community, it's not going down like that. There really are no safe spaces if you're choosing to have an unvetted, unsecure, and by unsecure, I mean armed security guards patting people down at the door, large event, large gathering. It just doesn't work in the community unless you do it the right way, and that's the right way. And even then, they might pull up in the whip and spray it up if they get denied entry to the party. You never know. But this is where we're at with the community, and young people need to hear this message, because these super gremlins are on demon time.
It's just hard to cope with, to think that somebody would be that evil to do something like that for no reason.
She got for nothing. For nothing.
Demaya's dad, Darren Cummerlander, says he was the last one to see her before she went to the party that night.
I told her I love her, and that's I saw her.
And now they gather to grieve a life that had only just begun.
She had a whole life ahead of her. A whole life. She has so much to look forward to.
I'm just gonna miss her.
Thompson vows they will keep fighting for justice for Demaya.
Demaya was loved, and we're not gonna rest until we get justice and the person who committed this crime is behind bars.
Carly Dion, 10 TV News.
Of an 18-year-old girl also in court today as her suspected killer faces a judge. Steve Levine now with her parents' reaction tonight.
18-year-old Demaya Cummerlander graduated from New Albany High School just last year, a year ahead of schedule. She was already thinking about her future.
Wow. So as you guys can see, this young lady was bright. She was ambitious. She had goals, she had a vision, she had a direction, and she was completely snuffed out by this super gremlin on demon time.
Whether to join the military or become a nurse like her mom, and planning to become a young mother.
She just loved to dance.
She was so kind-hearted.
Damaya's mom and stepfather remembering the teen who they say loved to dance, just days after the 18-year-old was shot and killed.
I'm angry that somebody took my daughter for really no reason.
20-year-old Kenneth Hairston now charged with involuntary manslaughter and a weapons crime in connection with Damaya's death. Her parents in the courtroom when Hairston went before a judge.
And look at this coward. This is the face of cowardice. This is, you know, the face of everything that is wrong with this country. He has no remorse, just a blank stare. And you know, as a community, we got to hold these people accountable. We have to say enough is enough and take back our communities. But it just seems like that is not the focus.
With involuntary manslaughter and a weapons crime in connection with Damaya's death. Her parents in the courtroom when Hairston went before a judge.
It was really rough. It's like reality is really like setting in.
Charging documents state Hairston was hanging out over the weekend with Damaya in a bedroom. 4 males, also in the same room, drinking, smoking weed, and playing with guns. Hairston says he encouraged them to put the guns away, but one person handed a pistol to Hairston. When Hairston tried to hand it back, the person smacked Hairston's hand and the gun went off.
I mean, if that's the story that they're giving, but it just seems odd. Let's run it back.
State Hairston was hanging out over the weekend with Damaya in a bedroom. 4 males, also in the same room.
Now that's wild. 1 woman, Damaya, and 4 other men in the same room. I mean, this young lady was not putting herself in the best position in the first place, especially hanging out with these Thug Max Alpha Simps.
Drinking, smoking weed, and playing with guns. Hairston says he encouraged them to put the guns away, but one person handed a pistol to Hairston. When Hairston tried to hand it back, the person smacked Hairston's hand and the gun went off, striking Damaya, killing her.
At 20 years old, with a gun, there are no accidents.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You cannot make me believe you know what the consequences are.
I agree. And this just goes to show that these young ninjas have taken the route of the rappers and play with guns, and they show them off in the screen like this, and you know, do all types of stuff, pointing it. And at this point, it's just getting wild. We have to stop destroying ourselves with this foolishness. You need to be responsible with a firearm if you're gonna be gonna carry, and you can't just be showing it off like it's some toy. And you definitely need to empty the chamber if you are gonna play around with it and pull the magazine out. But you know, there's no type of logical thinking. They don't even understand how the firearm operates. They just knows that I can split a nigga wig with this shit type. You know, it's ridiculous.
The consequences are of a loaded gun.
Damaya's mom telling us they learned Wednesday her daughter was pregnant.
That makes it 10 times worse. You took...
Wow, so she's pregnant, hanging out with 4 random guys. Yeesh, this girl was moving fast. I mean, it's unfortunate, but this is what happens when you chase these Thug Max Alpha Simps as a woman. And now her life is cut short, and that child will never see the light of day. We don't even know who the father is at this point. I'm sure the family does, but wow, this is a very wild story.
Not 1, but 2 lives. For what?
Just days after Damaya lost her life, gunshots rang out during a candlelight vigil for the teenager at
And then also, she is at the party drinking and smoking. Ouch. I mean, yeesh. There's a lot going on here, and obviously I don't want to victim blame, but the decision making is lacking.
Crum Park, a family friend and boyfriend of a cousin, both killed.
I don't understand why. What happened with these kids that they feel like they need to walk around with guns?
Friends now raising money online to pay for Damaya's funeral expenses, as her parents pray for all families impacted by the gun violence following their daughter's death.
You don't want to see another family going through what this family is going through right now.
I just think that's senseless. Why more people lost their lives?
On your side, I'm Steve Levine, ABC 6 News.
Emotions running high in court today as multiple grieving.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
10 TV News at 11 begins with breaking news tonight. Columbus police confirm 2 people are dead after a shooting tonight at Crum Park. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Andrew Kinsey. This all happened within the past hour. 10 TV's Carly Dion is live at the scene where she just got an update from police. Carly, what have we learned?
Yeah, Andrew, Yolanda, we just received an update from Columbus Police Sergeant Joe Albert, and he tells us those 2 victims who died in this shooting were black males, and one of them is believed to be a juvenile. Now, this is a very large scene here at Crum.
Well, there you have it. Another instance of black on black crime, and this is crazy because it is, I believe, the same park where Damaya's sending off balloon release was held at. So this just shows you how infected the community is with this level of violence. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Crum Park. Police have the park surrounded at this time. There's cruisers that can be seen on every street that surrounds it. And Sergeant Albert added the victims were found right near the entrance of the park. Police were called to the scene just before 10 tonight. Earlier tonight, just 2 hours ago, we were here at this park for a vigil that was being held for 18-year-old Damaya Cummerlander, who was shot and killed in Northeast Columbus over the weekend. More than 50 people were gathered here for the event, which was still going on at the time of the shooting, but Sergeant Albert says it's unclear if they're connected. And now we're still working to learn more information about what exactly happened here tonight, and police tell us no suspects are in custody, and they don't have any descriptions of suspects yet, but they did say there is one of the city cameras located at this park, which they're hopeful will lead to some identification of suspects and more information as far as to what happened. Yolanda, Andrew, I'll send it back to you.
Just to forewarn you, it's pretty brief, all right? We don't have a whole lot of details right now just because homicide detectives are en route, so I'll give you the basics.
Yeah. So if you could, yeah.
That's good?
Yeah.
Okay. This evening at 9:54 p.m., officers are dispatched to Crum Park on a report of a shooting. There was a candlelight vigil here for a homicide victim who passed away over the weekend. Damaya Cummerlander is who the candlelight vigil was for. There was multiple people out here at the time of this incident. The reports that were called in were that there were multiple shots fired. Do not know if that was one suspect, 2 suspect, multiple. I do not know that at this time. Officers got here pretty quickly and located 2 individuals at the entrance of the park. Both individuals were pronounced deceased at scene by Columbus Fire when they arrived on scene. I can tell you those individuals are both male blacks. We believe one of them is a juvenile, but we do not have confirmation of identity at this time. But at least one of them we believe to be a juvenile.
So you believe the shooting is connected to people who were at the
I don't know what caused it. The only thing I can tell you is there were a lot of people here for a candlelight vigil.
Yeah, so this was the same balloon release that Damaya's family held, and it got shot up. So And then 2 other black men lost their lives. So now they have to do balloon releases somewhere as well. And hopefully they don't come to the same park. But I mean, this is an unbelievable story, but here we have it, and it happened, and we're talking about it, and it's real, and it's tangible, and the mainstream media has completely gone silent about it.
A lot of people in the park for, to honor Miss Cummerlander, and a shooting occurred at the entrance of the park during that vigil.
How many people would you say were at that gathering?
I would say when our officers are here, there was at least 50 people here. There might have been more that were here and left when the shooting occurred, but when our officers arrived here, there was quite a large crowd.
When did officers get here for the vigil?
Not for the vigil.
They weren't here at all?
They were here for the shooting.
Just the shooting.
Yes, I can tell you one of our city parks cameras is in the middle of the parking lot. So that will be some of the evidence that our homicide detectives go through to see, what it captured. They're also going to be talking to everybody who's out here, seeing if anybody's got any cell phone video, any photos, anything like that will help us. If anybody's watching this and they were in the area and they might have captured something, please reach out. Our homicide phone number is 614-645-4730. They could also, submit tips anonymously through Central Ohio Crime Stoppers. Anything we could do to provide justice to the 2 individuals who are deceased behind us would be great.
Are any suspects in custody right now?
No suspects in custody.
With the search for a shooter, do you think there was more than one?
I do not know. Only thing I know is there was multiple shots fired is what was reported. That will be something that the detectives will have to go through.
So even at this small gathering at the park for another black woman who was killed, they get to shooting, they get to busting shots at the entrance of the park, and 2 more black men lose their lives, one being a juvenile. You can't make this stuff up. This is unbelievable stuff, guys. And people will still continue to try and argue with me in the comment section. I ain't got time. I let you guys continue to argue with them. I let my my family here at BGZM News 17 get back at them, because there is nothing to argue about. The community is sick right now. We have a problem. And if you're not willing to acknowledge it, and if you're not willing to take group accountability, then we got to move forward. We got to move past you. You can't be a part of the conversation. That's where we're at with it right now.
To determine if there's multiple shooters or not, we don't even have a suspect description to provide you at this time. Once we get that, we'll let you know.
How long do you anticipate being here?
This will be here for a while. I mean, this is a very large scene. I don't know if you can see, but there's crime scene tape all the way on the other side of the park. There's vehicles in the parking lot. This is a large crime scene that our detectives and our crime scene detectives are going to have to go through. My guess is they would even want to hold this maybe to the morning just to have daylight and better lighting so they don't miss something in the park.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. If we get
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.